Big news item when it comes to our national security. Nuclear talks with Iran and 6 world powers underway right now, and Iran's deputy foreign minister just came out moments ago and says it's just too early to say if any progress has been made. The definition of progress, of course, is one that moves. Our next guest says it's hard to take Iran at its word. Mark Dubowitz is the executive director of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Mark, great to have you. A lot of news is happening today, so we appreciate you rolling with us as well. We've talked a lot about talks and negotiations with Iran. This time seems to be different. What are the stakes of these talks today?
Jenna, the stakes are that Iran is moving forward aggressively with its nuclear weapons program. It's about 8 months away from having what we call undetectable nuclear breakout, which means Iran could weaponize uranium for a bomb so quickly that Western intelligence and UN weapons inspectors couldn't detect the breakout. So we've got 8 months, and we've got to continue negotiating with the Iranians, but at the same time, understand that these are masters of nuclear deception, and they're trying to prolong talks to get to a nuclear bomb.
One of the things you talked about in a recent Washington Post piece is making sure that we keep the sanctions on and keep that pressure on. There is a little bit of a tie-in to the government shutdown. Marco Rubio is just talking on the Senate floor. He has an op-ed today in USA Today, and he says we need to do that as well. But there's another round of sanctions that are stuck in the Senate, Mark, aren't there? Tell us a little bit about that and how important those are to the talks that are also happening right now.
Well, right, Jen. I mean, the real question is, will Iran run out of money before or after the United States runs out of money? So it's absolutely critical that we get our government back working and our folks working on this issue. The bill is stuck in the Senate, and it's stuck in the Senate because the administration has indicated to Senate Democrats they don't want to move the bill while we are negotiating with Iran. Now, clearly, it's only sanctions that have brought the Iranians to the table, and it's only massively enhanced sanctions that are going to give us the negotiating leverage we need to conclude a peaceful nuclear deal. I think the folks on the Hill, the perception is this bill needs to move and move aggressively and move quickly for the Iranians to really take notice.
That's what Senator Rubio says as well. There's those that disagree, that also agree with the administration that will come off a little bit and maybe we can talk more. One of the things that you mentioned in your article is that abandoning the nuclear program for Iran would be a huge humiliation for the ruling class. One of the keys to negotiation is making your adversary look good to whoever they're serving. How can we make sure that Iran saves face but also abandons its nuclear program, which is our goal, our end goal?
Well, Jen, I think that the issue of saving face has really been overstated. I mean, this is a regime, the supreme leader, the president, the Revolutionary Guards have been committed for 30 years to building a nuclear weapon. The only thing that's going to crack their nuclear will is if they're put to a fundamental choice between a nuclear bomb and the survival of their regime. And so economic sanctions that cause economic collapse are what going to give us the negotiating leverage to conclude a peaceful deal. I think we've got to make Iran understand that it can have a civilian nuclear energy program and buy its nuclear fuel from abroad like 19 other countries, but it cannot have nuclear weapons, it cannot be in contravention of UN Security Council resolutions, and it has to stop the centrifuge spinning and the uranium enriching if we are going to take this government at its word.
It's an important story we don't want to forget, even on a day like today, Mark. Thanks so much, as always, and we'll check back in with you.
All right. Thanks, Jenna.